Why the hell is Colorado retiring Shedeur Sanders' jersey number? It's been a weird week in college football with Nico Iamaleava and the transfer portal. It was going to be a weird week with the spring transfer portal. But then we get this news about not only Travis Hunter, but also Shedeur Sanders, both getting their jerseys retired for Colorado. And it makes sense for Travis Hunter, right? And I think that's everybody's point is it makes sense for Travis Hunter to be retired. He's the first Heisman Trophy winner in Colorado history, probably one of, if not the best player in college football over the last 2 years for sure, and probably including the year he was at Jackson State as a freshman. But the timing is weird regardless. And then you include Shedeur in that. You don't get the announcement that Travis Hunter's getting his jersey retired and then Shedeur. It's that they're both together. And I've been thinking about this, and there's something behind the scenes to me. There's some kind of narrative that's trying to be driven here. And that's kind of Deion's whole thing, right? As a college football coach, is that he's trying to disprove something. I think that there's no doubt that Deion Sanders is one of the best college football coaches in the country. And I think that so much of being a college football coach is recruiting and making kids want to be there, making men at this point want to be there. But before we get too far into it, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're trying to pump out the college football videos before the season starts, so make sure you're along for the ride. Deion Sanders obviously brings, they went from 3-9 his first season there after I think going 1-11 the season before to being a 10-2 team in last regular season with a real shot at the college football playoff at the end of the season. That's impressive in and of itself. And then, something that I found out a couple weeks ago, you include the TV numbers for Colorado before and after Deion gets there. They were like 300,000 viewers per game in the 2 seasons prior to Deion Sanders getting there. That was like 60th, 70th in the country. Like, we're talking bottom of Power 5 numbers, and maybe even, like, there's quite a few G5 teams that were more popular than Colorado. Colorado over the last 2 seasons has been a top 10, top 5 most popular team as far as TV ratings, and has gone from 300,000 to like 4.5 million viewers a game. I think they were number 2 in 2023. And then last year, they were like 3.6 million viewers a game. And I know, like, it was a big change. And Deion Sanders is one of the most popular athletes of all time. But that cannot be discounted as some kind of fever. It is this team. People want to watch this team. And that is one of the most important things in college football, right? There's so many different teams to watch. If you can get eyes on your team, it helps you in the polls, because the polls have a vested interest in making games. They obviously are in cahoots with the networks. The networks want big games. It's not just Colorado. They want a number by Colorado's name. And deservedly so this last season, they were ranked. The first season they got there, had a very impressive opening, but they ended up as a 3-win team. But people wanted to watch those games, and they've been all over big noon kickoffs. I'm pretty sure they've had a couple game days. And they've translated that into big-time recruits. They have a 5-star quarterback coming in. They've brought in so many people through the transfer portal, which is recruiting nowadays. So you can't discount Colorado completely. I think a lot of people just automatically discount Colorado completely for a lot of reasons. Deion is who Deion is. But also, the other side of that is Deion is who Deion is, right? Like, there's 2 sides of that coin. You can love him or you can hate him. But he has proven to be a results-driven coach. But this jersey retirement thing is weird. I was just thinking about this before I sat down and talked about it. And there's a weird thing where both Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders kind of tied their wagon to Travis Hunter. And I don't know how Deion Sanders convinced Travis Hunter to go to Jackson State. I think that, I don't know how that happened. It obviously was a great decision for Travis Hunter. He's going to be a top 5 pick. He won a Heisman Trophy as a wide receiver cornerback. First time that someone's done that. I think Devontae Smith was the last wide receiver. Desmond Howard was the last corner, and that was in the 90s. But it hasn't. It's like there seems to be two sides of this deal, and the side that the Sanders family got is that he is going to drag them up with him. And again, that's not a shot against Deion. It's not really even a shot against Shedeur. I think Shedeur is a really good college football quarterback. He probably will be a good quarterback, maybe a starting quarterback at some point in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I don't know. I'm not a talent scout. He obviously was, I think he won the Johnny Unitas Award this last year. So he was probably the best quarterback in the country last season, if not one of the best, top 5, top 10 quarterbacks last season. But he was going to Florida Atlantic prior to Deion taking the job at Jackson State. And obviously Jackson State's a step down. Maybe in some weird world, Shedeur would have ended up at Colorado even without Deion going there. Like, that seems like the level of program maybe he was destined to. But the level of program prior to this last season. But this last season, whenever you saw Travis Hunter out, and he was out more than most Heisman, he was out probably more than most college football players being put in the spotlight since Johnny Manziel, Reggie Bush. Like, he was that kind of star this last year. And I think maybe will continue to be that kind of star, even though he doesn't really want to be. But every time you saw him out, he was with Shedeur. And it just felt like, and this jersey retirement ceremony, whatever thing you call it, feels like they want to tie Shedeur's legacy to Travis Hunter's. They want to have this thing of like, Travis Hunter wouldn't be as great as he is without Shedeur. Or maybe not even that. It's that Travis Hunter and Shedeur are on the same level, whatever it is. But this jersey retirement just smacks of weird on a couple of levels. That part of it, right? Where they have to tie Travis Hunter to Shedeur. The other part of it is that it's Deion Sanders' son, probably the more obvious part of it. And the kind of draft controversy things that have been going on with Deion talking about teams and how teams, there's no real consensus on where Shedeur's going to go. He was up here, now he's dropping down, but he could go 3, he could go 2, he could go out of the first round. Like, that's not that weird for a quarterback. But the timing of the retirement ceremony or the announcement of the retirement is like I said, like a week or a couple days before the draft. What is that? You think that's going to impact his draft status? You think that like, if anything, it's going to, maybe the thought process is maybe it's going to push the fans to want more Shedeur. He's that much more famous. They're going to convince their teams that they need to draft Shedeur. That's kind of a thing about drafting, is like you want to excite your fans about something. That seems weird to me. It also, like, there's this underlying element of like, maybe Deion's going to go coach Shedeur in the NFL. And so maybe they're trying to like somehow cement what happened with Deion at Colorado. Because again, no doubt about it, Colorado is a different program now than it was when, a markedly different and better program now than it was when Deion got there. That's obvious. But why do this? Why would you retire your son's jersey like this? Why? And then he commented on it today and was like, people are hating on it because his last name is Sanders. And, you know, everywhere I went, it's not that weird to me because everywhere I went, my jersey's retired. So why wouldn't his be retired? It's like, that's the point. That's exactly what we're saying. He's not you. We're not questioning your greatness, Deion. Why is saying your son's jersey does not deserve to be retired at this school? And I don't even know that it's necessary that it doesn't deserve to be retired. He was a great quarterback. He like led the nation in passing touchdowns. He's the all-time passing touchdown leader in Colorado history, which, you know, is great. And maybe that's deserving of being retired, but he's not the same level of deserved as Travis Hunter. He could have had his own announcement. And he's not you, Deion Sanders. You are saying here we're hating on him because we hate you. No, 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 no. We're questioning this because you are the coach that's making that decision. It doesn't seem like any other coach would make that decision, especially in the history of Colorado. That people have named a couple of quarterbacks that have had more team success than what Shedeur had, and they're not retired. And I think that's kind of a silly argument because obviously it's a different program. It needed to be a different program. Colorado was great in the 90s. They were great in the early 2000s, but they were not good for 20 years. And Deion has turned that around. It's been one season that they had 10 wins, but it seems like he's turned that around. They are in the conscience, and they were not for all that time. But it's still weird. And it seems like there's some... It seems like they needed to get him in the history books before it got too late. And I don't know. I just don't like it. I feel Travis Hunter in some ways feels like the Rizzler. You know, like all these conspiracy videos or you know, these silly videos that they have on YouTube that are people like saying that the Rizzler is trapped by the Costco guys or he controls the Costco guys or whatever it is. It seems like Travis Hunter has a similar role in the Sanders family as the Rizzler. And this is like whatever AJ or whatever the kid's name that's not the Rizzler, that is Shedeur Sanders, right? He gets title on. Like they knew that they didn't have any talent, but this little kid is funny. This little kid is really good at football. Let's get him in. We'll be so much better. We know how to do this other stuff. We know how to, we know how to run an offense. You have a pretty good arm. We know how to recruit players. I'm a pretty good coach. But if we get this kid and we tie ourselves to this kid, then we're gonna be amazing. And that's like the fucking Costco guys. Like we're kind of funny. We know how to run a channel and stuff like that. But if we get this kid's a star. And so it's weird. And again, I don't necessarily think that Shedeur should or shouldn't have his jersey retired. I don't. A lot of people's jerseys are retired. That is weird. I was at a Blazers game maybe a month ago or so, and I was looking at the people that had their jerseys retired. It's like, yeah, Clyde Drexler, Bill Walton, Jeff Petrie, and then there was some players up there that I was like, I have no clue who that is. But it's like what they mean to the program, right? It's like what they mean to the Blazers as an overall organization. And I'm born in the 90s. I don't know what happened in the 80s. I don't know what happened in the 70s. But maybe that's part of this is like Shedeur Sanders meant so much to turning around Colorado as a program that they want to reward and make sure that people don't forget what Shedeur did for them. Sure. Announce that at the beginning of the season. Give Travis Hunter some time to let's recognize what he did for the program. Let's recognize that he is a Heisman Trophy winner, that he's a top 5 pick, that he is the number 1 recruit in the nation that decided to follow to Colorado when they were down in the dumps from Jackson State, right? Let's recognize all of that and then recognize Shedeur. But you tie these two together and you ask for this controversy. Maybe they were trying to slide it under the rug, like, yeah, we're retiring Travis Hunter's and also Shedeur's. But I think that this was a really bad PR move from Colorado. Maybe not. Maybe I don't understand PR like Deion Sanders and the Sanders family understands it. But it just seems like it doesn't ring positively for most people, I would think. It doesn't ring positively. And I'm curious what Colorado fans think about it. And I'm curious what old-time Colorado fans, I'm curious what those 300,000 that have been here through the thick and thin think about Shedeur jersey being retired after these 2 years. I'm sure there were some people that were Colorado fans that didn't come around to Deion the first season and that came around this next season. If I was a Colorado fan, I would be psyched about having Deion. It's way different than what I was rooting for before. But it's Colorado, like, it's my team. It's not like it's the Chargers that were San Diego and now they're LA, and now I have to root for LA. It's like this is still Colorado. This is still the team down the street. Like, we just changed what we're doing, and we needed to change what we're doing. So, I don't know. Not that big of a news, but I thought that I wanted to say something about it because I had to make a video for Friday, and that was the only thing going on. So, we'll get back to more talking about what's going to happen next season and maybe more transfer portal stuff this next week, but I wanted to get this off my chest here. But thanks for watching that video. If you made it this far, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future if you don't have any thoughts about Colorado. If you would like to watch more of my videos, I do have those for you, and I'm going to give you 2 fresh ones. I've got my most recent video right here, which is talking about Nico Iamaleava and if he actually saved college football with this dastardly move he made over the last couple weeks. Up here, I've got my most popular, kind of more recent video about Notre Dame and how lucky they were in 2024 and if they can follow it up in 2025. Other than that, I got my subscribe link on this side, and we will see you next time. See ya!